Hello, and welcome to 500 Days of Cummer, my fertility detransition journey. I'm your host, Salty Keys, and this video exists because of the scarcity of information on trans bodies and fertility. This video will be uncut, unedited, my first YouTube video ever, in English for accessibility, although I'm German. And let's get into it. Why do I want to detransition? Why do I want to go off of hormones for... Let's hope it's not 500 days, let's be real. I'm a transgender woman. I started transitioning when I was 20 years old, and having kids was very, 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 very far down the line. And I was like, I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. Right now, I don't care. No, I don't want any semen frozen. Don't want any of my juices, like of my children, to be stored for later. Now I'm 28, and my point of view has changed. I think about having kids, and I want a biological child to be an option. It's incredibly hard to adopt, and it just literally might be easier to father a child than it is to adopt one. I'd want to keep these options open. Also, I think I'm a bit curious about the process. And so what I will feel like during these months and what will change. I think that should explain it. That should explain it very, very well. I want to have kids. That's I want kids to be able to be my own, and thus I have to get everything back into gear and start producing swimmers again. And for that, I need to go off of hormones, off of my estrogen, off of my testosterone blockers, and get my own hormone production starting again. It is today is the 16th of April, and I started this journey exactly 4 days ago after a wet night in the club, after a breakup, and I just felt this inner peace of, I think I'm ready to do this. How did I come to this? A friend of mine recently wrote a paper in which it was about trans fertility, in which she basically put me onto the work of Micha Cardenas. I hope I'm saying her name right. She's a trans performer of color, trans woman of color, and she got herself a microscope, went off of hormones, and together with her partner conceived a child by watching her own sperm mature in real time under the microphone that she spunked it out for. Microscope that she spunked it out for. And I found this really, really inspiring. This like practical approach, and realize like, what the fuck, there is shit out there, there is information out there that I do not have, but that is somewhere there. And I want to be also a viable option to like, just to read, just to know, just another case study of how this could go. Okay. My hormone therapy. I am on injectable estradiol. About, I forgot my dose. But like, I inject myself with estradiol, and I inject myself with a GnRH analog. It's basically a drug that inhibits the basically it, oh my god, it presses the button of your brain area that is responsible for making the sex hormones, and because of constant overactivation it like decreases. It decreases and you stop producing hormones in your own body. I take GnRH analog, if you want to write that down. Decapept is the brand name for it. Yeah. I'm also on estradiol and nanthate for anyone that's curious. And I did some progesterone. I had a bit of I did a little bit of experimenting with like human growth hormone inducing substances in the very beginning of my transition. Um, but that's all far gone, and now I'm on a pretty like, I wouldn't say conservative schedule, but in a pretty well rounded, stable, maintaining thing. And I have been so for like the past 1.5 years. I started out in 2016 with patches and Cypro, and then I switched to patches and Decapept. Then I switched to gel and Decapept, and now I'm on injections and Decapept. My transition has been going on for the past 6.5 years. So far, I've been extremely happy with the results. I like my face, I like my boobs, I like my hips, I like everything. No real dysphoria. It's been going super well. That's why it's kind of hard for me to quit, because I have also, I guess it's everyone else, but like very much relied on my body and my passability to just basically like my stress levels started going down as a couple of years ago when I started being able to just like pass better on the street and blend in and stuff like that. So it's going to be a process to like reduce that again and like be more visible again on the street, because the streets are not really a safe place for visible trans people. And that's that. Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to say. For everyone who's thinking like, hey, you're not that passable, when they're gonna shut it. I know my life. Thanks, Cat Black, for like telling me this. Hormones has been great. Legal situation in Germany. I am German. I have a German passport, and I am able to get the cost of my juicy freezing covered by health insurance under a current gap in the law, which basically says that if you start treatment that will render you infertile for life, you are entitled to get your germ cells frozen. And it was, I think the law was instated for cancer patients, but since hormone therapy in general does make you infertile, and sexual reassignment surgery, gender confirmation surgery, vaginoplasty, vulvoplasty make you infertile as well, permanently. That should be covered. I'm also going to get a pussy at some point in the future, so now is like my last chance of doing it. I have, however, not taken any legal steps yet. I called one fertility clinic. They were, of course, being absolute asses, didn't know anything of the situation, and my doctor is not really supportive. And like, just because the option is there legally doesn't mean it's like easy to obtain or people will support you on the way. Institutions will support you on the way. They will be like, what? No, that's not how that works. And I'm like, yeah, that's how that works. That's how it worked for my friends. I'm sure if you are trans, you know the sitch. My Okay, so what's been happening? On the morning of the 12th of April, my dose had would have been due on the 10th of April. I started I decided that now was the time, and I basically officially started with this whole process with taking a drug called clomiphene. Clomid is the brand name. Clomiphene is a drug that was first researched as a female contraceptive, um, then found out to increase fertility in cis women, and then found out to also increase fertility in cis men. And how it does that is it blocks estrogen in the part of your brain that signals, oh, we have enough sex hormones, we're good. Because for males and for females, for all the bodies, it's the same signaling pathways. It's not the testosterone, it's the estrogen that tells your brain like, okay, we're good here. Or the accumulation of sex hormones, I think it's both T and E. And since you can block that E in that part of the brain specifically, your body's thinking like, oh, we do not have enough sex hormones. We gotta step it up. So it starts producing LH and FSH, um, follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone. I forgot what they do. This is basically, how I think this works is, correct me if I'm wrong, but GnRH analogs completely stop the production of LH and FSH, and clomiphene can increase that production, and um, that's why I started taking clomiphene. My last dose of a GnRH analog, it's always a depot of 3 months, and my last dose was, I think, 5 or 6 months ago, and so I thought I'd just give it a go, even if there might be some slight residues. I started taking a pretty high dose. I took 100 milligrams the first day. That was too much. I'm gonna keep going with 50 milligrams of clomiphene. I would also like to say that I do not have the support of my doctor for this, who is an endocrinologist, because he was just like, oh, when I told him about wanting to go off hormones, trying this fertility thing, he was like, you just do it for as long as, you just gotta do it for as long. You just do it for 3 months and then you look, and it's like, you have no clue what it means to be a transgender person. You have no clue what it would mean to me to be like off of hormones for just any amount of time. I'd like to do this as quick and easy as possible. And that's why I support my sperm with clomiphene, or my hormone production. I also stopped smoking the same day. And I might start looking into like B vitamins, zinc, selenium, ashwagandha, blah 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 in the future, but not for now. Does it work? Yes, it does. I will get my levels checked around the 26th of April. My hormone levels. I do not have a baseline from where I started. I just know I was like somewhere in female range, and testosterone was like 0,000. But I can feel the testosterone in my body. I started getting oilier skin, and some pre-acne bumps here and there, because I do have acne, and I keep it in check with tretinoin, and I think the testosterone is just when like trans boys start going on T, they get acne a lot of the time, and I think that's what's gonna happen to me. I'm gonna get like acne, trans boy appropriation vibes. There was this song, MTFTM. I don't know if you've heard it. I forgot the name of the artist. Mikey Woodbridge. I think, well, I have this skin facial changes. I tried, calling the herd, you might say. But there were no sheep yet coming down from the mountains of pleasure. Um, so I will keep doing that. Um, I will link an overview of the effects of clomiphene on male fertility down in the description. And maybe about the effects of smoking on fertility, but like that's so well known. I also, another side effect that I feel is I feel hotter inside. My temperature, I think my body temperature has risen. I started measuring, I had 37.6 degrees. Wait a minute. Time to measure my temperature. Not with this one, you know where it's been. I'll post my body temperature down in the comments. Oh yeah, another thing that I did was to help me spiritually, I think, or like I bought myself a lucky charm. It's a charm that I wear while I'm on this journey to remind me that like, oh, these weird body sensations you're having, these mood swings, this whatever will come, to give myself like a physical cue that this is why it's happening. And I also find it, I think, reassuring to know that like, just as you can take off a bracelet, I can always take off the hormone status that has caused me so much dysphoria in the past. Do I want to do emotional stuff? Not really. Not really, no. Let's just say that I am also documenting this to keep track of myself and to, I don't know, feels good. Feels good. I might get into doubts and fears and yada yada one of the next videos, but I think for now it's been going well. Thank you so much for watching.